Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. Friends, let us all study, investigate, and practice the real words of the Buddha. As you are well aware that the Buddhas are born after long time, eons and eons after. They are born to this world to understand, to realize the real nature of themselves and the world, as well as to teach the Dhamma, teach that real Dhamma to the world. Buddho so bhagava bodhaya dhammang desete. Having become the Buddha, they teach the Dhamma to enlighten others. They cross the flood of samsara and they teach the way to cross the flood of this samsara. The special teaching of the Buddha, that specific teaching of the Buddha is an unparalleled teaching. That means that cannot be found from anywhere else. Only the Buddhas teach that wonderful technique which is called Vipassana. Passati means see. Vipassati means see through, penetrate. The Buddhas realized this wonderful technique of meditation and then they teach us the same thing. When practice Vipassana, insight meditation or wisdom meditation, we can see through, we can see things as they really are. When we see the true nature of things, what can we see? We can see three things which are called three characteristics of existence or three marks of existence. What are the three marks? You can see things, whether animate or inanimate. Things are ever changing. Things are arising and passing, arising and perishing. That is what is called impermanent nature. Things are impermanent because things are not permanently existing. No permanent existence in the world. Everything is ever changing. That is what is called arising nature and passing nature. If you see this, you can understand everything is changing. Since everything is changing, if you grasp such things as mind me or myself, you have to suffer. That is what is called suffering. Arising nature and perishing nature is to be understood not in the external things, but internal things. Basically, in our own mind, the nature of the mind. Our mind is ever changing. The thoughts are ever changing. Thoughts means 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates. What are the 5? Form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. These are ever changing 5 aggregates are arising and passing all the time in the 6 sense bases. This is what is happening in the 6 sense bases of all beings. Even the Buddha, Arahants, they have these 5 aggregates. These 5 aggregates are ever changing. It is because of not understanding the real nature. Worldly people, worldlings, they grasp these 5 aggregates. As they grasp them, they have to suffer. The Buddha said, 5 aggregates affected by clinging, affected by grasping is suffering. Whenever they arise and pass, if we can be mindful, if we can understand that change in nature, we never grasp them. The Buddha's meditation, the technique of meditation is to understand these 5 aggregates and their real nature, which is origination and cessation, arising nature and perishing nature, arising nature, passing nature. If you see this arising nature and passing nature, you do not grasp them. If you do not grasp them, you simply understand them and maintain the balanced mind, which is called equanimous mind. That equanimous mind can understand the real nature of dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. Unsatisfactoriness is arising because of desire, craving. It is because of that craving we grasp things. The Buddha said, dependent on craving, grasping, attachment, clinging comes to be. If we can understand this desire, this craving, thirst, urge, we can cut it off totally, remainderlessly, cut that off. Remainderlessly cutting off, extermination of that desire is what is called real bliss of Nibbana. In order to achieve this, there is a way. That is what is called the Noble Eightfold Path. In such a way, if we are mindful enough, we can understand these four noble truths: suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. From where? From outside? No. Inside. Inside means where? In the chest? In the stomach? No. In the eyes, in the ears, in the nose, in the tongue, in the body, and in the mind. 6 sense bases. With the support of 5 aggregates. Through the 5 aggregates. That realization is the realization of real bliss. So friends, the purpose of Buddhist meditation is that meditation technique is called Vipassana. Tonight, we want to understand how to practice Vipassana as the Buddha said. That is the topic. For this purpose, tonight we have a special discourse. The name of the discourse is Walking. Walking. This is from the Numerical Discourses of the Buddha. Chapter 4, the discourse number 11. Walking. Here the Buddha talks about the person who is, if the person is not practicing properly, while walking, while standing, while sitting, and while wakefully lying down. If one is not practicing properly, Buddha clearly said, he or she cannot realize the real peace, real happiness of Nibbana, the highest state of enlightenment. Let's understand this discourse. Let's come to this discourse. Buddha said, bhikkhus, that is how the Buddha addressed the monks. When the Buddha said bhikkhus, we have to understand clearly that it is not only for bhikkhus. Bhikkhu means monks. But the Buddha's teaching is not only for monks. This teaching is for monks, nuns, and lay followers, male followers or female followers. So the Buddha said, bhikkhus, if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, or a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while walking, and he tolerates it, does not abandon it, dispel it, terminate it, and obliterate it, then that bhikkhu is said to be devoid of ardent and moral dread. He is constantly and continuously lazy and lacking in energy while walking. Uh, so this means, friends, all the while we are living, whether we are walking, standing, sitting or lying down, there arise in us three types of discursive thoughts. What are the discursive thoughts? Sensual thoughts, thoughts through which we want to please our senses. Sensual thoughts. Or we have thought of ill will thoughts. Or thought of harming, means cruelty thoughts, cruel thoughts. So these are the three types of thoughts to be understood clearly. While we are walking, while we are sleeping, while we are working, while we are doing things, whatever, while driving, while sleeping, while washing our clothes, while taking shower, while eating, drinking, talking, these three types of thoughts arise in our mind. So the practitioner, those who follow the Buddha's instruction, should be mindful to understand these thoughts. That is Vipassana. That is the Buddha's teaching. Real Vipassana is that. In order to understand this, one should have concentration, for the purpose of developing concentration, one has to practice kind of concentration meditation, like mindfulness of breathing, or practicing metta, loving friendliness, like that. One has to develop concentration. Then one can understand whenever such thoughts arise. Then one can understand and categorize these thoughts, whether they are sensual thoughts, ill will thoughts, or sort of cruelty thoughts. Then all these three types of thoughts are harmful thought. That is why we should not harbor them. We should not let them come and sleep within. We should not bring them in, and we should not deposit them. We should not let them sleep inside as anusayati. Anu means again and again. If we are not mindful, we bring them in again and again and let them sleep underneath of our mind, in the aggregate of volitional formations, as upadana, attachment. Upa means inside, adana means bring in, dragging in. As the result, what will happen? As the result, upadana, pachaya bhav, the Buddha said, dependent on attachment, there arises existence. As the result of attachment, upadana, we will have to have existence. We will have to be born again. That is the meaning. So, whenever such thoughts arise, whether they are sensual thought, ill-will thought, or harmful thought, we have to be mindful and we have to understand them. Buddha says, if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, or a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while walking, and if he tolerates it, if he accepts it, if he welcomes it, if he does not abandon it, does not dispel it, does not terminate it, and does not obliterate it, then, Buddha said, then that bhikkhu, that practitioner, that person is said to be devoid of ardor, no effort, no energy. Such a person has no energy. He is not ardent, and no moral dread. He is constantly and continuously lazy, lethargic, and lacking in energy while walking. That is what the Buddha said. That is while walking. If one is not mindful, one cannot understand this. Then he or she easily tolerates it, does not abandon it, does not dispel it, does not terminate it, does not obliterate it. So the one who is ardent, who is energetic, who has moral dread, he is constantly, continuously, energetically practice while walking. So not only while walking. Then the Buddha said, if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, or a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu, means a person, while standing, and he tolerates it, does not abandon it, dispel it, terminate it, and obliterate it, then that bhikkhu is said to be devoid of ardor and moral dread. He is constantly and continuously lazy and lacking in energy while standing. Then if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while sitting, and if he tolerates it, does not abandon it, he does not dispel it, if he does not terminate it, and does not obliterate it, then that person is said to be devoid of ardent and moral dread. He is constantly and continuously lazy and lacking in energy while sitting. Then said, if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, or a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while wakefully lying down, and if he tolerates it, does not abandon it, does not dispel it, does not terminate it, and does not obliterate it, then that bhikkhu, that person, is said to be devoid of ardor and moral dread. He is constantly and continuously lazy and lacking in energy while wakefully lying down. So that is four postures. All the four postures. Whether while walking, while standing, while sitting, while lying down. These are the four postures. Whatever we are doing, all beings have only these four postures. On whichever the posture, if we are not mindful, this is what happened to us. So the Buddha's teaching is to be mindful. Mindfulness is the key in the teaching of the Buddha. If we are mindful, we can understand what is going on. We can understand things as they really are. If we see things as they really are, that is what is called Vipassana. Vipassana. Insight. So, on the other hand, the Buddha said, but bhikkhus, if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, or a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while walking, and if he does not tolerate it, abandons it, if he abandons it, dispels it, terminates it, and obliterates it, if he tolerates, if he obliterates it, then that bhikkhu, that person, is said to be ardent and to dread wrongdoing. He has fear of wrongdoing. Dread wrongdoing means that he is constantly and continuously energetic and resolute while walking. Then said, if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, or a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while standing, and if he does not tolerate it, that is what one has to do. One should not tolerate such thoughts. Whenever such thoughts arises, whenever such thought, friends, these thoughts, they arise not like a bulk. They arise one at a time. Even though there are three types of thoughts, these thoughts arise one at a time. Sensual thought, or ill will thought, or cruelty thought. One at a time. That is the beauty. That is the wonderful thing. Therefore, it is easier to understand, because only one arises at a time. So whenever a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, or a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while standing, and he does not tolerate it, but abandons it, dispels it, terminates it, and obliterates it, then that bhikkhu is said to be ardent and to dread wrongdoing. He is constantly and continuously energetic and resolute while standing. Then referring to sitting, Buddha said, if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while sitting, and he does not tolerate, if he does not tolerate it, but abandons it, dispels it, terminates it, and obliterates it, then that bhikkhu is said to be ardent and to dread wrongdoing. He is constantly and continuously energetic and resolute while sitting. Then referring to wakeful lying down, Buddha said, if a sensual thought, a thought of ill will, or a thought of harming arises in a bhikkhu while wakefully lying down, and if he does not tolerate it, but abandons it, dispels it, terminates it, and obliterates it, then that bhikkhu is said to be ardent and to dread wrongdoing. He is constantly and continuously energetic and resolute while wakefully lying down. So friends, this is clear what is to be done by practicing Vipassana. Our topic is tonight, topic is how to practice Vipassana as the Buddha said. So this is what the Buddha said. Whenever such thought arises, what should we do? First, Buddha said, do not tolerate it. Do not tolerate. Here, this is the only things to be done. Do not tolerate. First of all, we have to understand the thought. Understand it is nature, irrelevant nature. Then we should not tolerate it. We should not accept it. We should not welcome it. That is the first thing to be done. The secondly, we should abandon it. Third, dispel it. Fourth, terminate it. Fifth, obliterate. These are the things to be done. 5 things to be done with whenever such thoughts arise, whether they are sensual thoughts, ill will thoughts, or cruelty thought. These 5 factors are to be applied, just like the 5 fingers of the hand. First, do not tolerate. Do not tolerate. Do not accept, in other words. First thing is, do not accept it. Do not tolerate. Okay. Second, abandon it. Understand that it is not for my benefit. this is something, an obstruction for my path to Nibbana. This is for my self-annihilation. Like that, you can think the negative side of it and abandon it. That is the second thing to be done. Again, first thing, do not tolerate. Second, abandon it. Third, dispel it. Fourth, terminate it. Exterminate or terminate it. Then obliterate it, totally cut it off. Totally cut out. Those are the 5 things to be done. Then you can come to the state of pacification, peacefulness, equanimity, the state of equanimous mind. Equanimous is wonderful, is peaceful. If we have equanimous mind, we can understand unsatisfactoriness as it is, dukkha as it is, the cause of dukkha as it is, the cessation of dukkha as it is, and the path leading to the cessation as it is. This is why we have to maintain that mentality, equanimous mentality, equanimous mind. This is sublime. Equanimous mind is a sublimed mind. This is wonderful. This is sublimed. Etang santang, etang panitang, which leads to complete cessation of all volitional formations and the attainment of full bliss of Nibbana. So that's the teaching. Finally, in the end of the discourse, Buddha says in verse, let's understand these verses. Buddha said, whether walking or standing, sitting or lying down, one who thinks bad thoughts, we have good thoughts and bad thoughts. We don't want to cut off, we don't want to stop, we don't want to obliterate all the thoughts arise. We have good thoughts as well. We don't want to worry about good thoughts. We have good thoughts. Let them come. Neutral thoughts, good thoughts, let them come and go. We have to understand bad thoughts. What are the bad thoughts? Thoughts which are connected with the wholesome household life. Household things means worldly things, worldly matters. Thoughts just to please the 5 senses or 6 senses. Worldly things, sensual thoughts. So things, bad thoughts, whenever we think bad thoughts, connected with the household life, sensual life, worldly matters, in other words, worldly matters. Such thoughts are to be understood. If a person is thinking such thought all the while, whether walking, standing, sitting or lying down, Buddha says Here, Buddha says, he has entered upon a dire path. Dire path is what? Is a crooked path. Is a wrong path. Wrong path. Which is infatuated by delusive things. Infatuated by delusive things. Because of our delusion. It is because of delusion we are oppressed by delusion. That is why we have such thoughts. Moha. Moha neyesu mucchitu. It is because of the infatuation of that delusive thoughts. We are oppressed, we are suppressed by delusion. That is why we have such thought. Then we are on the wrong path, crooked path. Kummag. Buddha said, such a person cannot reach the highest enlightenment. Such a person cannot reach enlightenment. Some Buddha. He cannot reach, he cannot experience enlightenment. On the other hand, the Buddha says, but one who, whether walking, standing, sitting or lying down, has calmed his thoughts. This is what we are to do. This is the way to practice. This is how the Buddhists practice. Not only Buddhists, cultured persons, civilized persons, wise person think in this manner. He or she always tries to calm down his thoughts, not agitated thoughts. He has calm thoughts. Such a wise person, having calmed thoughts, and he delights in the stilling of thoughts. Delights in the stilling of thoughts means he is calm in his thoughts and he removes, he cuts off bad thoughts. Delights in the stilling of thoughts. Vipassana, calming, delight in the stilling of thoughts. Come to the cessation of thoughts, such thoughts. Remove such thoughts. Such a person, Buddha says, such a person can reach the highest enlightenment. That is the end of this discourse. So friends, this is a wonderful discourse to understand the way that the Buddha taught us how to practice Vipassana. Let's all understand these wonderful teachings of the Buddha. Let's practice concentration for some extent and then switch to insight. How to switch to insight? Let's be mindful of our thoughts. Whenever unwholesome worldly thoughts arise, let's understand, try to understand. Then calm down such thoughts. And then totally exterminate such thoughts. We do not accept, do not tolerate. Instead, abandon, dispel such thoughts. Then exterminate and totally obliterate, totally cut them off. That's the way. That's the way to peace. That is the way to understand this real peace, real happiness of Nibbana here in this very world. May we all realize that real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu.